Welcome back to another video for this series. So last video we installed a configured network load balancing, which was so much fun, right? So in this video, we're just going to be doing some scanning and remediating vulnerabilities with a tool called OpenVAS. I'll get into a little bit of what that tool is used for typically. We're going to do about 3 exercises. The first one is going to be the OpenVAS scanning. Then we're going to be applying Windows Secure updates, and then also validating security changes with OpenVAS. So let's go ahead and get started. So I've already opened OpenVAS. As you can see, it has its own root command, or terminal rather. Let's see, I believe it's here in the green bone. All right, perfect. So I got the green bone security assistant here along with OpenVAS, so we can just log into the OpenVAS interface, and now we're using Greenbone Security Assistant to help us out here. So just going to click on configuration so we can take a look at the port list, right? Then I'm actually going to take a look at this one. Gives us the port counts here on the UDP and TCP and other things of that jazz. All right, so now it just gives us a brief review of the list, right? To show all the ports that the Nmap scan will check against. So the list is designated or designed rather against the Nmap version of 5.5.1. As we can see, should be somewhere on here. Well, it showed, should be actually in the last. Actually, I just saw it. All right, I'm blind today, right here, as we can see. So this is a very invasive scan. So it just takes place against all the TCP ports. And the from 1 dash let's see, from 1-65535, and then focuses on the UDP ports, which are more selectively chosen at a total of 999. And the UDP port scanning can actually take a while longer to complete. So knowing which ports are important can be a good time saver for you. So just reviewing this pretty much if you want. But yeah, so we're going to go back to the configuration tab. Actually, we're going to go to scan configs here. All right, and these are pretty much the scanning types, which are installed by default with OpenVAS. And so when performing a scan, now one of these is typically chosen, but you can't customize scan. You know, have weight that you need to. What we're going to do, we're going to take a look at full and very deep ultimate. Let's see. All right, and these are the vulnerability test families that are involved in this one. So you got compliance, databases, Debian, denial of service, finger walls, finger abuses, firewalls, finger abuses. I got kind of mixed up there. So this scan is also very intrusive. It just provides a great deal of depth, right? So it just looks for a wide range of faults, and some of which might not be very useful depending on the device being scanned, right? So for example, this scan is going to check against like Cisco, CentOS, and Amazon, those Linux security checks. And if you know that the network has multiple facing devices with these services, right? So then this type of scan can be very productive, right? So you just want to understand the network and the device scope because it's important to maintaining the useful scan types and the results here. All right, so let's actually go back for a second because we're actually going to do a scan, but I don't want it to be that intrusive, but intrusive enough whereas we can at least cover something, right? So under the families here, just reviewing the scan types. And we can see it also is similar to the previous one, right? Except that it's quicker on the performance level with multiple tests from, like I mentioned, buffer overflow and multiple OS, right? Should be a little bit down here. Multiple OS, well, I guess Mac OS here. All right, but that's fine. And let me see. Should be a section for Windows here. Yep, Windows. So it runs the gambit as far as the type of scans and the devices that it wants to scan, right? As far as what would fit your type of scan that you want to do using this tool, right? So we scroll down here. Within this area, we can actually see another set of multiple tests, right? That can be used against Secure Shell, LDAP services, etc. And we can actually review these if you want to click on one, if you want to visit this site to have a better understanding of what exactly the test is going to perform, right? So actually, I want to look for a particular one here. I'm actually going to use this find function. Let's see. There it is. All right, so, all right, and let's see. But yeah, this is what I was looking for. Okay. Perfect. All right, so here we can see the family. What does that do? All right, here we can see the family IT run shuts. I believe that's how it's pronounced. I believe they're a German AC who specializes in security, and they're the authors of located this vulnerability that we're taking a look at here, and we can also see here the current value, the default value that's been assigned to be tested against. So now we're going to actually do some scanning, right? So we're just going to scan against some of the key devices on the system. So let's click on here, right? And then advanced. We're going to do our own scan here. All right. Oh, I'm going to do DC01 here. We want to do the full assessment. Want it to be 2. All right. I believe everything else is okay. We don't need really much of anything. God damn it. Okay. Let me actually get rid of this. That's probably why I couldn't see it. Let's start over here. That's not what I want. Okay. Right. Perfect. I think everything looks pretty good. And we want to do this one. We want to get just a nice combination of speed with comprehensive searching against the domain controller. All right. So, all right, perfect. So it's requested. All right. So now it's just performing a scan. As you can see here, it's requested. It's going to automatically initiate and begin the scan against the target, which is DC01, the server here. I'm actually going to confirm that this is up and running. And it should take about 5 minutes to complete. Of course, I'm going to put you guys on the other side of when it's done. Just want to make sure this is up and running here. All right. And it should generate here in a moment. I'll put you guys on the other side of that. So the scan is officially done. And just from initial glance, right, before we even click on anything as far as how bad things are, right, it looks pretty high. When we look at the severity, we're looking at a 9.3. That's actually pretty crazy. I mean, you almost can't get any worse than that. So we can actually take a look at the breakdown of the results as to what it came up with, why it's so high, right? Which in this case, it's good that it's only 1. Let's see if that ever loads for me. Come on. Oh, looks like it was creating a new tab without actually moving me over to it. All right. Okay. That's fine. We'll reload it. Okay, what's going on? All right, we'll fix that. All right, so we finally got it to load for the more detailed breakdown. So given with, let's see here. You can see how long that the scan took. All right, actually, let's see, it should give us a bit more of a breakdown than this. Let's see, take a look here. All right, there it is. All right, so now it's giving us the breakdown I was looking for. For some reason, again, the lab is, yeah, I just got need a lot of pages for this. But anyway, So as we can see, most of it is medium to low as far as any priority or severity, rather, for it to be placed on the priority list of what needs to be tended to sooner than later or later than sooner, right? So we take a look at this one particularly that's driving the score up the most, which is the Microsoft Windows SMB server, right? So if we click on it to see exactly what these vulnerabilities are that we found through the scan. Let's see if it loads for us. Well, it did, but like it's not trying to. There it is. Oh, okay, still doing it. All right, perfect. So now it's showing us exactly what is the issue with the scan that we found, right? So it was detected according to the detection method, right? And it said the successful exploitation would allow remote attackers to gain the ability to execute code on a target server, which could also lead to information disclosure from the server, which can lead to all different sorts of problems, right? Like reputation of the company, loss of data, data that can be used for social engineering, and a million other things, right? That's just the tip of the iceberg, right? But it did provide us with a solution, right? So the vendor released updates, so we could see exactly what software was affected, and where we would have to update to fix those. Pretty much, essentially, have patches for the vulnerabilities, right? So it just gives us a bit more insight, right? The more we go further down into this particular scanning find, right? So again, we see a more detailed output regarding this vulnerability. Now, Greenbone, it details that the LDAP could be leaking data via enumeration, right? So which could allow information about the server, as I mentioned, and site names to be disclosed. Now, this could aid someone who's looking for credential details, right? For logging into devices and impersonating devices on the network so that they appear legitimate, right? So it could be used for, again, a lot of different things. Back to what I mentioned about social engineering, let's say if you have some credential data, right, and you could call into IT saying, hey, I need help, I have some issues, everything on the network looks legitimate, and then you're giving credentials to a potential attacker, right? But if it does, again, provide us with a solution, so we can actually take a look at how we can rectify this, right? So I'm just actually going to swivel over here so we can get started on applying the Windows Secure Update. So let's see, let's open up Windows Explorer. We actually have the tool already pre-installed for this lab for what we need. All right, perfect. Of course, we want to open it. All right, and it's pretty much just install. So we also have to restart the server again after we reinstall. So I'll put you guys on the other side of that so we can move forward to the next task. All right, so we got everything back up and running. So now we're going to validate the security changes with OpenVAS specifically, because once the changes have been made to the system, it's vital to recheck that system in order to confirm the updates, right? We do that. We've done that in other videos where we did GP update /force as far as in command line options. So we're going to be rescanning this server DC01, but of course you have to reconnect back to the Kali Linux server in order to do so. All right, so let's see if it signed us out. No, we're actually still in. So actually let's go back to, still not acting right for me. So actually I'm going to close all of this out. Let's see. See, close this out. Okay. Wait, none of it wants to act right. Okay. Right. Yeah, a lot of stuff open here. All right. Web content. Okay. All right, I'll put you guys on the other side of this once I have the situation squared away, so we can get back up to the Greenbone security, so we can recheck or confirm the changes that's been made. All right, so not only have we got everything back up and running, but I also ran an additional scan as well. We're actually going to take a look at the scan, because now, as you can see, it showed one initially, but now it shows two as far as different scans done. And we can see those different scans here. The one that was done earlier, and you can see with the higher score. Then after the update we did with the patch for the vulnerability that we found from the initial scan, as you can see, the severity level has been considerably lowered by 4.3 points with this particular scan. So we're actually going to take a look at the scan after taking a look at the other one before. So now we just see the why it's lower, why it's greatly reduced, right? So the severity of 9.3 of the glaring vulnerability that we saw in the first scan that was fixed with an update for a few patches, and that considerably lowered it. These are just medium to low priorities as far as scan. So pretty much that covers everything in this video as far as scanning and remediating vulnerabilities with the OpenVAS service. So this completes at least this set of videos. And then on the next set of videos, we'll be continuing our cyber education with continuous application of what to do in cybersecurity. I'll see you in the next video.